Some top American chat shows and TV programs could fall off air after Hollywood film and television writers failed to agree a new deal with studios such as Disney and Netflix. The move could cause the release of popular dramas and comedies to be delayed. The last writers' strike was over 15 years ago, lasted 100 days and cost the Californian economy $2 billion. Well, let's cross live now to Tim Barnes, writer and comedian who previously worked on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, amongst many others. It's so good to talk to you, Tim. First of all, what is it that writers and workers, other workers within this union are striking about?
We're really just striking to help sustain a system of growth for writing as a career in Hollywood. And I know that on the outset, anything involving Hollywood and writers can seem like a tickle fight at the opera, but what's at stake is a focus, hopefully a focus, if we come to an agreement after the strike, on allowing younger writers who have just joined the Writers Guild to have a path forward to being able to pay to live in the very cities that their shows are being produced in, and to have a path forward. Because a big part of this is that a lot of people are repeating the beginner status of staff writer instead of what used to be a path towards growing to being a story editor and hopefully to the future a producer. And what's being displayed in the Guild is a great sense of solidarity with people who have been members for a long time, who have seen how much of the work and how much of the process of writing in Hollywood has been devalued and has been almost systemically dismantled into becoming gig work, essentially.
Where is that devaluing? Sorry, Tim. Where is that devaluing coming from? Because I was reading about this earlier today, and some of it has got to do with the way in which movies and series are made now, and also a lot to do with the fact that big players like Netflix now are just churning out material in a way they weren't before. And that isn't a good thing, is it, for writers? You think it would be. It'll give you lots of work, but actually it's working the other way, isn't it?
It's working the other way, and the churn is definitely a part of it. It's caused the rise of what we call mini rooms, which is hiring a much smaller staff than what has historically been the norm to produce the same amount of work, and for the end result to be getting less residuals if it's a straight-to-streaming series. And residuals are kind of the lifeline that writers in the industry have, and that's if you're in a historical broadcast scenario, you write for a show, you get a writing credit, it gets aired, it gets re-aired on another network or on the same network, and it's all getting ad revenue. Now there's a shroud of mystery over that, and we're hoping to get to the point where, like, yeah, let's get a sense of how many people are viewing these things. Let's get a sense of how much of this we should get a fraction of. And what we're really asking, what the WGA is asking from the Alliance of Motion Picture, let me make sure I say them right, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, is less than 2% of Hollywood profits. And the counter story and the counter narrative that we expect to hear is like, oh, this isn't a good time to do this because, as you can tell, we're dealing with a fractured system, Wall Street lows. But if you look at the past 20 years, there's been a steady growth. There have been a few pitfalls, but it tends to bounce back. And since we are only asking for less than 2% of the overall profits, it isn't much to seek.
Let me ask you this: what is the impact going to be on everyone's favourite shows, moving forward, if there is this strike? If the strike goes on for a long time?
The impact will be massive. I mean, first of all, I used to work for The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. All the late night shows will go dark. They'll likely come back if the strike lasts for over a few months. And when they do come back, they will be riderless. So you're going to see Jimmy Fallon improvising his monologue.
Not sure I'm ready for that.
You're gonna Let's see what kind of, I guess he has to come up with games on his own. Who knows? That'll be interesting. Last time we had the strike, there was the rise of reality television. And so we'll be dealing with whatever the modern equivalent of that is as well.
Okay, well, let's see what it brings. Tim Barnes, it's good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for putting your case forward.
Thank you.